Welcome to the Multichain Nation. Today we have Konrad, co-founder of Peanut Protocol. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Rudy, for having me.
Yeah, it's exciting to see so many different protocols building on top of Axelar, and I definitely want to learn as much as I can about you and what you're building and how it's helping and what Axelar has done to help supplement that. But first, give us a rundown. Let us know, what is Peanut Protocol?
Absolutely. It usually helps to start with the problem, like how we even came about. We're trying to do a crypto transaction, just a simple payment. And we just saw how painful that was. If you think about the way a normal payment happens, on a normal on-chain payment happens, is it would be a series of questions such as, "Hey, Rudy, like, what's your wallet address? What's your preferred chain? What's your preferred token? Do you prefer USDC or USDT? Do you prefer Optimism or Arbitrum? Do you have ENS?" It's all a relatively complex thing.
Yep.
And if you compare it with a traditional fintech such as Cash App or Venmo or PayPal, it's just so much more complex to navigate all these things. And then you have to think about gas on top of all of this. And when we realized this, we thought, wow, isn't there a beautiful opportunity here? We strongly believe that crypto is a revolutionary thing for finance as a whole. And one of the biggest things in finance is payments. And let's fix payments. That is the very basic idea.
Yep.
And the way we do this is we've developed a protocol where essentially it's fully agnostic when it comes to chains, when it comes to the tokens, or most commonly stablecoin types, so USDC, USDT, and also addresses, which I find especially exciting, and I think that's also very unique to what we're doing. So the way we do this is, just to give a user story here, is instead of me asking you for all these details, I could just send you a link, for example, requesting $10, and then you can fulfill them with whatever you happen to have on your wallet. And I will get on destination whatever I requested, I will actually get. Or on the other hand, I could also send you funds and I could just deposit, let's say, 10 USDC on Optimism. And if you prefer to have USDT on Arbitrum on your wallet, you could just claim that from the link. And now note the elegance of the link here. The link is shared in the context of the payment, right? So if you think about a WhatsApp message or a Telegram, you are sharing the link exactly where you're already having that conversation. "Hey, Rudy, I did my freelance gig. Can you send me the, let's say, $1,000 that we agreed upon?" Or maybe, "Hey, we shared a cab ride. Here's $5 to reimburse you for the cab ride we've shared to a cafe in Denver."
So then I would have a Peanut, I guess, address or just username. It's pretty simple. And I put in how what my preferences are in terms of currency and chain. And then whatever you send me will Peanut automatically just, okay, this is what was sent. I'm going to convert it to Rudy's preferred method and lock it in.
Correct. You got it exactly right. And that way, I don't have to worry about any of that complexity. On top of that, we abstract gas, so you can pay in the token for your
Oh,
gas.
nice.
So a newbie user doesn't have to worry about any of this stuff. For them, it's just a very Venmo-like experience.
Yeah, that's the key I always bring back to is like mostly, I guess, developed countries, especially America, with I guess the freedom to move money pretty easily with Venmo. You know, a lot of other countries don't have Venmo, but they have Cash App and other things like PayPal. But it's just so easy to send money to your friend and not even think about it twice. So when people are asking me, "Oh, what's the big deal about crypto?" I'm like, well, there's this whole complexity of how to transfer funds, like you explained. But all this technology behind it is the reason why we love crypto and what it's supposed to do, how it's supposed to solve many financial problems. But without getting the users on board, just because it's a little bit harder to get them transferring funds, it's hard to convince people. ENS did a great job trying to help with that using .eth names, um, but I guess there's still a little bit more complexity to it, and I'm glad Peanut is solving this.
For sure, we are, and we are working closely together with ENS as well. In fact, very soon on a new product that we're launching, which is a wallet, everyone will also get an on-chain name, which is
Ooh.
super cool, powered by ENS subdomains. And I think one of the things that you need to think about when launching such a product is like, what are your expectations for the user? Right now, it's just so fragmented, right? Like you'll have your MetaMask here, then you have to like go and find out about ENS. You might see it on Twitter or something. If I have to find out, and then you have to pay for a username. Like that's a ridiculous concept, and that would be ridiculous in Web 2, right? Why would you pay for a handle? Maybe a premium handle you would pay for. But obviously here we're building a whole network, so it's much more comparable to DNS um, rather than a user handle. So it makes sense that it's the way it is, but also for a new user, it's a whole challenge to navigate that. Yeah, absolutely,
Now, how does Axar come into play here?
absolutely, really, really good question. So thanks to the amazing architecture of Axelar, we're able to abstract the chain, right? So I mentioned this user story where I have optimism on USDC, and maybe you prefer to have your funds on Arbitrum. Now, what you can do with Peanut is you can bridge those funds. And what we're using under the hood is Axelar and Squid. So that way, it's just very, very seamless for the user. They don't have to worry about anything happening in the background. It gets elegantly, and what's even more important, very quickly routed where it needs to go.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a huge lift, I would imagine, to have XR and Squid help run that cross-chain communication and bringing across whatever token is sent to any other chain. I can't imagine where Peanut would probably have to develop all that all over again for themselves. It's like you see how much work Axar is doing. It's an amazing thing that they're used and truly helpful for what you're building out.
Correct. So I think Axela was just the go-to choice because not only is it a very well documented and easy to build on um, a
Yeah,
solution, but also it's sufficiently decentralized. I think when you have all these solutions, you'll find that they all lie on a spectrum. For us, there was a payoff between decentralization and speed. So when I say speed, I mean literally like when your money arrives. If I send you $5, when does it arrive? And Axelar just does a really, really, really good job on both on the centralization spectrum, but also in terms of documentation, ease of building, or as you would call it, DevX, dev experience. Um, and yeah, I think it just fit the bill really nicely. I also find it extremely elegant how Squid chooses to route everything through Axelar USDC, making the liquidity much, much easier, at least on the first versions of how they approach the problem. Now, I know they have many more solutions out there, but at the time I found that extremely innovative about, I don't know, when was this, like 1.5 years ago,
yeah,
so
it's been a
when that
while.
got launched.
I mean, it's tough in crypto,
Um,
right? Because everything moves so fast. You don't. 1 month can feel like a year, so you don't even know anymore.
exactly, exactly. But yeah, Axel are really, really nice to build on for me as a founder. I always one of the key things that I evaluate is platform risk as well when building on top of other tools. Obviously, when you have a decentralized network or reasonably decentralized network, then the platform risk is just so much lower
Yeah.
than it would be on a more centralized solution.
And how is your implementation experience like with XR? So, you're trying to figure out what's the best protocol to use for Peanut. Like you said, XR was a go-to, but I'm sure it's still. I mean, I guess for me, it feel pretty daunting to read through the documentation, understand how to build on top of XR and how they can help with your project. So, can you give us a little bit more about your implementation experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the person who would be in the best position to speak about this would be my GigaBrain co-founder. He's the techie on the team, super fast guy, CS Harvard grad, IQ of, I don't know, more than my height
Too high. That's
probably.
what's too high for us.
Exactly, exactly. And yeah, what they've been building, he had obviously helped them, other devs as well, but the way they approach the problem is very clear from the get-go. We wanted a decentralized solution, one with good DevX. It didn't take us too long to integrate. I don't remember the exact timeline, but we had cross-chain going in production after, I don't know, it was counted in weeks, not
Wow.
months.
Wow, that's amazing. And I mean, other than the development side of things, there's still a whole business development side. And how was Axar helpful in terms of getting recognition for Peanut?
Yeah, very helpful. So, in fact, Axer was with us since the very, very, very inception of Peanut. Namely, we took part in an accelerator very, very early on, which was the Long Hash X accelerator, which
Hmm.
was within the Axelar ecosystem. And it was a key part for our whole strategy be to have chain abstracted payments, because what we were seeing was that funds get extremely fragmented across different chains. It becomes a nightmare to coordinate on which chain to make the payments. Bridging is way too of a manual process. So let's build something around that to abstract all of that away. And Axelar has been with us in helping us pretty much from the get-go. The way that worked was first through the accelerator, which was not run by Axelar, but was within the Axelar ecosystem. And then I think we definitely had some events together. Also, some events were kindly co-sponsored by Axelar. I still remember, I think this
Nice.
was in Istanbul, where Axelar agreed to co-launch our chain abstracted stablecoin experience. And what we would do is we had peanut packs, because we're called Peanut, obviously peanut packs, with QR codes, and we would airdrop them. So we would throw them at people.
Literally
It-
airdrop.
like literally airdrop. They would be thrown at the audience, and within each pack, you would have like I think $5 that you had to claim cross chain, right? So the $5 would actually be on Optimism, but they would be claimed to Base, and you
Oh,
could
that's
see
cool.
how fast that was, right? So normally the bridging experience is like not only very manual, but also will take ages. Now, at least back then, this was like extremely, extremely, extremely fast, and people were stunned to see that within a few seconds, like below 20-second levels, they were able to have their funds on their destination chain.
So how did you come up with the name Peanut?
With the name Peanut,
Yeah, how did you come
right?
up with the name Peanut? Now I'm just curious.
Absolutely. So the thing that we wanted to enable is smoothness, right? So buttery smooth was this thing that we were thinking about, and there's even a thing in business called the butter thesis, or in startups called the butter thesis. It's usually when you have some complexity and you bundle it. Usually, when you think about tech, you can think about phases of bundling and unbundling. And when unbundling happens, like all of crypto is essentially one giant unbundling. Some services will need to get bundled to create a smoother experience. So the butter thesis is this idea that you can build really, really, really huge businesses by simply taking a few common steps and just bundling them into a simple experience. A famous example for that would be Coinbase, for instance,
Hmm.
who bundled initially the like buying and selling of crypto experience into a very simple, almost checkout-like experience. So having the butter thesis and thinking so much about butter and smoothness, we thought, well, what's complementary to that? Obviously, peanuts. And we went with the name of Peanut. Also, butter at the time was taken,
Yeah.
so it only made sense to go with Peanut. we do get a lot of positive feedback on the mascot and all the memes.
I love it. Yeah.
So so we stayed with it, despite it being kind of like a temporary thing. We decided to stick with it.
Good. I mean, I love smooth, creamy peanut butter. Some people like chunky, but
No,
nah, just not
no,
for
no
me. Yeah.
chunky. Banned,
Thank,
banned, banned.
thank you.
I
Thank you.
think if I think on our Discord, if you say you like chunky peanut butter, you get banned
Yeah.
immediately, pretty much.
It's
So
only right. Now you're building Peanut Protocol. Uh, things are moving along. XR is helping you push this too. What state is Peanut in right now, and what's next?
a really good question. So we've been integrating the protocol into various apps and wallets. But a few months ago, we decided to do something even more exciting for us and actually launch our own end-to-end product where users can use directly. Where Peanut Protocol is one of the main features of the wallet that we're launching, or the kind of payments app that we're launching. The idea behind that payments app is really to be an kind of on-chain, almost like personal finance experience where you can not only have easy payments, but also have easy savings. All of that is powered with passkeys, gives you a super elegant, simple experience where you use your biometrics in your phone's secure enclave to store the private keys, which makes it very, very secure. And the idea here is to really be the next Revolut, which is partially on chain and to a large degree on chain, and hopefully we can bring in many more millions or hundreds of millions of users who will be exposed to the on-chain experience in a much more kind of smoother, less technical way, where, for example, chains are abstracted, which is where Axelar comes in and does a really, really good job at that.
So if I was a newcomer to crypto, and I told them to check out Peanut, how would their workflow look like, or how should I explain their workflow to them?
Yeah, they would go to peanut.me once it's live and would hit install, deposit some funds either from another crypto wallet or from Google Pay, Apple Pay,
Oh,
what
nice.
have you.
Integrated with traditional.
Um, exactly, they can connect their bank account as well to
Hmm.
draw from that bank account. Then what they get, their main balance on Peanut is a stable coin, right? But it's fully abstracted, so they can think
Yeah.
about it as digital dollars. They don't need to worry about like,
They don't
oh,
even have
is
to
it
think about
USDC?
it.
Is
It's
it
just right
USDT?
there
Yeah,
for them. That's
it's
the
just
best part.
there, right? And then when you send a link or when you make a payment request, it's fully interoperable, right? So both on the sending side, you can claim crypto or fiat. When you claim crypto, you can claim on any chain, thanks to Axelar and Squid. And when you request, it's the same. You can fulfill from any chain, but you can also fulfill with fiat. Now, key part of this is also that we do have our own off ramp, which, by the way, is live. So on
Congrats.
peanut.to cash out, we have a live off ramp. It's the first ever, I believe, self-custodial off-ramp. What that means is that the funds stay within your self-custodial wallet all the way until the moment where they hit a liquidation address and get converted into fiat. So like literally they hit the liquidation address next block, they become fiat, at which point they become custodial, obviously, because there's no such thing as self-custodial fiat. But like they stay self-custodial to the very, very, very end, and only when they become fiat, they go to your bank account. And it's a really, really cool and unique solution where people who, for whichever reason, don't want to use a centralized exchange like Binance or Coinbase can come to peanut.to/cashout and cash out funds to
Wow.
for from whatever, maybe their crypto salaries or their crypto gains, whatever, um, directly to their bank account. We see this. I prefer to stay on chain for almost everything, but for example, one of the a flat that I'm renting, the landlord doesn't want crypto for some reason,
Oh,
and I do have to convert. I do have to convert crypto to fiat to then do this, and this is one of the ways I'm using it in.
just next
Yeah.
time tell them I'm developing Peanut for you. This is all for you. It's going to be so much easier. Just please use it. Just get them to convert. Uh,
Exactly.
that's amazing. It's there's so much going on, and I'm sure plenty of people are curious to learn more about Peanut and maybe even develop on their protocol. So where can community members learn about Peanut and get involved?
Yeah, hit us up either on Telegram, handle is Club Peanut, one word, or on our Discord, which you can find on our website, which is peanut.to. Currently, we have two domains going on, so watch out for this. Both are our domains, peanut.to and peanut.me. This is because we are launching the new product that I mentioned on the new domain, peanut.me. But both domains are ours. Keep vigilant when it comes to domains. Don't get
Yeah,
phished. But in this case, both of them are ours.
that's awesome. And I feel like it's, I mean, I checked out your documentation too. It looks very simple, very clean, and easy to read. And that's like half the battle for developers sometimes. At least for me, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to test or play with something. If I can read it, I'll get into it. If I can't, I just stop. So thank you, thank you so much for keeping it clean, keeping it simple, really working on user experience, and keeping it buttery smooth. Thank you, Konrad.
Yeah, let's go nuts.